A very good morning and welcome to the final day of Para-Dressage competition here in Tryon at the World Equestrian Games. It's the penultimate day of competition here in Carolina. We're in the Tryon Stadium. Once again, it was a foggy, misty morning, but the Blue Mountains now in the background are looming large over this famous arena here. Tryon Stadium ready for five gold medals to be won in the 5 classifications in the freestyle competition, and we're set for the grade 4 to begin proceedings today. A long day of sport, but it should be a thoroughly entertaining and gripping day's action as well, because we start with the 8 qualifying riders from the individual on Tuesday. And Angela Peavy will be first to go, but the gold medalist from the individual, Sanne Voets, will be last to go. Rodolfo Riskalla, the silver medalist, you see, will be 5th to go. And also, it looks really competitive. Manon Claeys just missing out on bronze, and Susanne Sunesen as well from Denmark, another one who will be hoping to get a medal today to follow on from what they did earlier in the week. The judges are in position and ready to enjoy the day's sport. As you can see, it's cloudless skies that are greeting. A little bit chilly first thing this morning, 64 degrees, but that temperature is going to rise throughout the day as we head towards, not this morning, the grade 4 and 5. Then we have a break, and then it's grades 1, 2, and we end with grade 3 later on today. So lots to look forward to. It's been thrilling what has happened over the first 4 days. A gripping team competition, won by just 0.64 points for the Netherlands to end the long winning streak in major championships of Great Britain, who were in silver medal position. And then there was a thrilling battle for bronze as well, with Germany just edging out Denmark yesterday. So that certainly has been a fantastic performance in team competition, the individual as well, with the Netherlands the dominant force in that as well. They have picked up 3 gold medals so far during this week of action in this Tryon Stadium. From a British perspective, they've just had the 1 gold medal, that coming from Sophie Wells, who will be going in the grade 5 to add to their tally. So Netherlands, in fact, have won 5 medals so far during this week of action, and they will be expected to add significantly to that tally today. Great Britain, obviously, too, will be hoping that they can feature prominently in the gold medal count today, with Natasha Baker and Sophie Wells looking in their particular grades the favourites. Sanne Voets, clearly on the efforts of her performance earlier in the week, is the favourite in this one. But of course, the Americans are delighted to have been here and on home soil competing, and I know it's meant a lot to this lady to be competing in a World Equestrian Games on home soil, and it is the 22-year-old Angela Peavy who will begin this final day of action in the Tryon Stadium on the Para-Dressage very shortly with Royal Dark Chocolate. It's freestyle to music of the choice of the rider, and I'm sure we're going to see an eclectic mix of music being played for the various tests. It's always a fun part, but it's a competitive part, and wanting to show the creativity of the individual performers. Angela, 22 years of age, and earlier in this year was competing in Tryon. And here we go with the first test. And in the freestyle, they scored 72.892 in this arena. So the final day's action gets underway with Angela Peavy coming down the center line in a quest to get a medal for America. Angela Peavy first to go, and plenty of support from the Americans in the crowd, and a pleasing start for the American with her choice of music, and her World Equestrian Games is done and dusted, and we're really pleased with her performance over the few days. And yesterday in the team test she scored 67.075, so just starting, coming out of the arena. So our first contestant has done on this fabulous morning here in the Tryon Stadium. As she makes her way out and checking on the scores, and well, plenty of home support here, and we'll wait on her score. Horse just not quite keen, saying enjoyed himself. Royal Dark Chocolate, aka Coco, has enjoyed himself here in the Tryon Stadium. Big pat for her as she goes out, and we await on her score. Next into the arena will be the Finnish rider, Paolina Aittola, riding a 9-year-old gelding Supremo. And the scores will come through. Obviously the big names towards the end in terms of medal hopes. Here comes Pia into the arena, and we'll bring you the score of Angela Peavy in a couple of moments' time, as Pia makes her way in, the 29-year-old for Finland, getting through as she comes forward. Pia didn't have quite such a good day in the team championship, scoring just 64.150. Still no news on the score for Angela. Just to let you know the judges today, we have Marco Orsini at E, Sarah Leach at H, Suzanne Cunningham at C, Christy Faisocki at M, and Anna Prane at B. So the bell sounds for the second competitor to begin. Gives the signal to begin the music. So from Finland, coming down to begin is Paolina Aittola, and her horse that she owns is Supremo, a 9-year-old bay gelding. And that is Paolina Aittola, who'd finished 9th and got in because Louise Jacobsen withdrew, having finished in 4th position, I think it was. But for Pia, finishing 9th in the individual, making it through to the freestyle, and looks like she enjoyed it. Some dramatic music for her test. She'd scored 66.268, but I can tell you Angela Peavy score has come through. We'll give you that in a moment as we look at some of the aspects of Pia's performance. And so it is, well, looks very pleased with that, the 29-year-old. So waiting on the score of Angela. We'll get the score of Pia in a few moments' time, but 71. So the first rider score, let's confirm that. This is how it was judged for Angela Peavy. Well, M came in with a 74. And for the artistic, you can see as well 78. That's the American judge, Christy Faisocki, with regard to the American performer, 71.710. But an H coming in with a 68. That was the British judge. But so a decent enough start for Angela was 71.710. I'm sure she'll be very pleased with that as a start. But now, from France, that will be our next competitor, and the order: Rodolfo Riskalla and Susanne Sunesen, Manon Claeys and Sanne Voets will be the final 4. And when you look at the battle for the medal, there were 3 riders all within a point of each other. On 73.927 got the gold, then Rodolfo on 73.366 and Susanne on 73.146, and Manon Claeys just edged out on 72.854. So just over a point separating the first 4 in a very competitive opening grade 4. But now Jose Letarte with Swing Royal, this 12-year-old gelding owned by the French School of Riding, as he will begin his test. So the first results coming through, and coming in now to begin. This will wait for the bell to be sounded before he can go on his way. 67.585 was his mark from the other day for the Frenchman. Well, there is the bell to be sounded. Coming down on last trot down the arena. And away we go then for rider number 3 from France, Jose Letarte.
José Letarte.
José Letarte, I think he definitely enjoyed that. Really nice music too. Cheeky in times. And I think he's very pleased. He was 6th last year at the European Championships in the freestyle with a score of 71.655. Has he managed to better that in what is a very competitive freestyle competition here in the Tryon Stadium, and clearly enjoyed by the French supporters in the crowd and his team behind him, and clearly an exuberant reaction as well from Jose himself. The third of the riders to go, and we will bring you Paolina Aittola score after her test. Remember, Angela Peavy opened up with 71.660, and the score coming through for Pia, who finished 9th in the individual but got it due to the withdrawal of one of the original 8, 66.655. You can see again the technical and artistic marks. The technical 65 and just over 65, and the artistic just over 67. But Jose coming out, I think he's enjoyed that, and as he prepares to exit the arena, horse clearly has enjoyed himself as well. So that's rider number 3, but we have now another of the Americans just coming into the arena. There you can see Kate Shoemaker coming into the arena. The 31-year-old will be rider number 4. And there amongst our judges, that's Marco Orsini, the German judge at E. And Kate, the 31-year-old, scored here 71.755 earlier this year in this arena when they held the test event. So Kate now getting ready. So rider number 4. Next will be Rodolfo Riskalla from Brazil. Then it will be Susanne Sunesen, probably starting after this, probably to get in amongst the medal contenders. She scored 68.707 in the individual. So off we go then. Solitaire is the horse. An 11-year-old black stallion, owned by Kate Craig and Dina Shoemaker. Big smile from Kate Shoemaker, the second of the American riders to go in the opening freestyle competition here on day 5 of the Para-Dressage. And the 31-year-old Kate looks really pleased with that. And, well, she might. But it's been a terrific experience for the American riders here on home soil. And Kate has definitely enjoyed it. And you can see the reaction, giving Solitaire a big pat for his efforts here this morning as comes out of the arena, and really enjoyed that. There was some lovely music as well along the way, and the horse responding in kind as well. So there is Kate leaving the arena. Can now bring you Jose Letarte's score, and he has bettered his score from the European Championships of 12 months ago, because Jose Letarte has scored 72.245, artistically 74.040, and technical 70.450, but a good score, putting him into top of the tree at the moment, early stages. But now I think we're amongst the genuine medal contenders now, and this is the man who won the silver medal. Had the pleasure of joining us in the commentary box yesterday, and he is the silver medalist with 73.366 from Brazil, Rodolfo Riskalla. And 4 years ago, well, could have been competing in the able-bodied Para-Dressage until contracting meningitis in 2015, which left him with double amputation below the knee and lost fingers. But here he is beginning to make an increasing impact in Para-Dressage, still competes with this horse, Don Henrico, against able-bodied athletes, the 34-year-old Brazilian, and delighted to say, joining me in the commentary position to enjoy, which I think should be a samba-filled experience, if my memory serves me correctly, is Natasha Baker. Morning.
Good morning. I made it.
Well done. Well, you've got a big day.
I know. But I was very tired. I couldn't get out of bed.
Well, anyway, well, a finely tuned athlete that you are. But anyway, let's enjoy this performance. I'm sure the music will be very evocative, and straight away it has got the South American samba feel. So with a score leading at the moment of 72.065, now I think we're going to get into the serious stuff in this grade 4.
The nitty gritty. I was here for the sound check last night, so I did hear the first start of this music, and it sounds amazing. It's a good angle in the half pass. Couple of moments of tension in the neck, but looking really, really powerful. That's a really hard movement. A medium trot on a 10-meter loop. So you have compulsory movements that you have to ride, but you can put them wherever you want and in whatever order you want, and that's the beauty of freestyle. Lovely positioning for the shoulder in.
And you can see the way he has to have the whip sort of strapped round his wrist, because he's got limited use of his hands.
Again, a little inconsistent in the contact at times. And then leaning forward, because obviously he can't give the rein. So really nice stretching. you want to dance, doesn't it? Makes you want to dance.
It does. But that's the point of the freestyle, isn't it?
Yeah. It's nice that it's representing him and what he enjoys and where he comes from. Lovely positioning in the half pass there. An interesting change because it's gone into counter and then he can demonstrate the flying change, which was a lovely clean flying change. That's not a movement that's necessary at this level, but it could, if done well, which obviously it was, add to his marks. Of course, very established at those. Much better in the contact in the canter.
You can see he's basically having to use his reins with his wrist, and
yeah. I like that movement. That's nice and interesting, and he's keeping it symmetrical as well, which is nice because it's much easier for the judges to follow. Good steps of medium. He could have maybe gone for it a little bit more. Just dropped him there a little bit in the transition. I love this music.
he's gone for a big flourish.
He's so happy with that. Look at him. Great reaction.
Well, a big pat on the neck of his horse, Don Enrico. And for our individual silver medalist, Rodolfo Riskalla, that has thrown down the gauntlet, hasn't it?
Definitely, I think. I mean, I only saw a little bit of Jose's, but I think...
Well, Jose's, I mean, he was very happy with it.
Yeah.
But clearly now we've seen that Kate's, we can bring you Kate's score in a moment, but Rodolfo has really... Well, it was infectious music, that draws you in, but he's also got to back the music up with the level of performance, and clearly the experience of this combination, and he was prepared to show off some of the qualities of him and the horse.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, what you've got to remember is, you know, it's got to be technically good as well as artistically good, because that's where both of the marks come from, and then they get joined together. And, you know, he did technically do a great test, and artistically the music was fantastic. So I think he's going to be in for a big score.
Well, the score of Kate Shoemaker is going to come through shortly for us, and here it is confirmation that for artistic impression, 75.040, technically 71.50, and that gives her a final score of 73.270, and into first spot. Looks as if Jose is going to end up where he did in last year's European Championships in this class, 6th. Kate, though, one of the two Americans, but she's finished ahead of her compatriot. But now we have from Belgium, agonizingly missing out on bronze. 72.854 she scored, with Susanne Sunesen scoring 73.146. It was so close at the top. She's riding San Dior, this 10-year-old gelding, and from Belgium, and owned by Ahmed Shabhatli, her partner, and Manon Paul. So let's see how she can get on. Can she make up for the disappointment of not winning a medal? And we're off and running. It is with her horse coming down the centre line, CSK's Kefer.
straight into a lovely half pass. And then into shoulder in. Again, quite technically challenging because they've got to change the complete angle that the horse is moving in. And again, some shoulder in down the 3/4 line. There's nowhere to hide when you do that.
Well, there's nowhere to hide. When I was introducing her as Manon Claeys, I was looking down, I was ahead of myself. It's Susanne Sunesen. I was having a senior moment there. Apologies.
Oh, just lost the rhythm there. And again, in the extended, well, in the medium trot, sorry. That's a real pity. This horse really excels at that, but just got a little bit carried away. The lateral work a really strong point for this horse. Although he is 20, he definitely doesn't look it. Much better rhythm and balance there.
Last year in the European Championships, 77.125 was the score in the freestyle.
Sorry, I've been calling it a he, it's actually a she. It's a mare. Sorry.
We both made mistakes then. We're on fire. But I tell you what, Kefair is on fire.
Yes, she is. Dropping a little bit in the pole into that transition, but a nice clear transition into counter-canter.
And that 77.125 was good enough to win a gold 12 months ago.
Good flying change. The counter-canter is one of the compulsory movements, as well as this medium canter. I think she might be a tiny bit ahead of her music, but only very marginally. You can kind of tell when the big crescendo comes that that's when they're meant to be doing something like a medium canter, and she was just a tiny bit ahead of it. Lovely flying changes. Just dropped her in that transition. That was really unfortunate. Much better that time. Again, those are compulsory movements. The change of leg through trot. Really notching up the difficulty in this.
That's lovely from Susanne Sunesen, last year's European gold medalist in the freestyle. But has she come up with something magical? She's going to have needed to, as far as the judges is concerned, because this is a fiercely competitive competition with some high-quality combinations. She is obviously one of them, and the experienced horse, I think it's a swan song for the 20-year-old CSK Fair.
Yeah, I think Susan was talking about retiring her from championship competition, so it'd be really, really nice for her to get a great score from this.
Well, she's going to have to. She looks happy and proud in the efforts of her veteran performer, who's spring-heeled and still as lovely and enjoying it. But the score that she's going to have to beat is this one from Rodolfo Riskalla, which is a pretty good score, because the score is 77.780, 79.76, and an 82 from the judge at B, and that is Anna Prain of France, as far as artistic is concerned, but 77.780, that's competitive.
Yes, that's very, very competitive. I have a feeling, though, later on with Sanne, we might be seeing closer to the 80.
Right, okay.
Let's wait and see.
Well, 77.125 was her gold winning mark last year. Well, I tried to get her to ride about 10 minutes ago, but now we can do it this time.
She's in.
She's in. Phew. Manon Claeys I referred to, but good test from Susanne Sunesen, the Danish bronze medalist from the individual. Is she going to come away with another medal? It's going to be tough. Sanne Voets will be last to go after Manon, and of course already with a couple of gold medals in her collection, one of 3 gold medals won by the Dutch. But for Belgium, can they find a way of prizing a score that would put them into medal position? And obviously with waiting on Suzanne's score, but we will now see Manon riding this 10-year-old Sandior, about to start. Always elegantly turned out is Manon.
She looks gorgeous today. I'm loving the colour coordination, especially in the breeches.
Yeah, there's a sort of stripe down there.
Yeah.
You taking note?
Go faster stripe, maybe.
You taking note? But anyway, and you can see it's getting warmer, and Sandior certainly feeling the heat. It's been a long week. They've been here a long time, but obviously this is one final hurrah for horse and rider in the Para-Dressage in this opening competition here. The grade 4 will be followed by the grade 5. So off we go then with the penultimate rider in the grade 4 classification here. It is from Belgium, Manon Claeys and Sandior the second.
It's been so close over the last couple of days. I know she's really missed out on winning a medal, so she's going to be going all guns blazing today. Looking good. Just falling a little bit through the outside shoulder at the beginning of the shoulder in.
A little bit of Paul McCartney and James Bond, Live and Let Die.
Sounding good. I nearly had this as my background music for my team test yesterday. Nice, really nice positioning for the half pass. Just lost the quarters a little bit there at the end. Oh, and he's cantered. Such a pity. So that's things that would cost her in the harmony, which is in the collectives, which is one of the artistic marks that the judges will be looking at. looking really good. Showing nice relaxation in the walk. And that's what I was talking about, the crescendo earlier, when the music really comes up. Is this Game of Thrones?
I don't know. Yes.
Yes.
Someone's told me.
There's a grade 3 also that has Game of Thrones music. Big pat there. She's got a huge smile on her face. I think she's really happy. It hasn't been mistake-free, but this horse is on fire at the moment. Lovely half pass.
Challenging Rodolfo? Your pause says no.
I think she might be just behind, but just. Again, she asked him to come back there to trot, and he just ignored her aid a little bit. Nice smooth transition and just on time to the music as well.
So Manon Claeys completes her freestyle test here, and certainly enjoyed by the crowd here. There was plenty of good bits, as Natasha said, maybe the odd little glitch along the way, but is it going to be good enough to overhaul Rodolfo Riskalla? 77.780. Has Susanne Sunesen overhauled her? Score coming in a moment. As just looking at it, you enjoyed that though, didn't you?
I did, yeah. It was really, really nice. I love this horse. I've got a massive soft spot for him, but there was, yeah, like there, just a couple of little glitches that will cost her, especially in the harmony marks. So the actual artistic marks comprise of rhythm, energy and elasticity, harmony, riding skills, choreography and music.
Right, let's see what has happened to Susanne Sunesen. Is she going to be getting a medal? Well, possibly not now, because with that score of 72.675, definitely not her best day at the office, I would suggest, and not going to be matching last year's medal. Of course, she was gold medalist in Gothenburg, but not here. And I think it looks as if she's going to be edged out because she's in third currently. And obviously there's a chance that Manos will score more than her. And you definitely would think that the lady coming into the arena now, Sanne Voets, will score more. So the final rider coming down into the arena, our double gold medalist already this week, as the Netherlands, of course, secured their first team gold, just edging out Natasha's Great Britain's team by a very narrow margin, 0.64 to be precise, which is basically putting a hoof down the wrong place, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, says he, reminding you. Sorry, Natasha. But anyway, it was so competitive. The 32-year-old, one of the golden ladies of the Netherlands Para-Dressage team. And can she, with her music, wow the judges? I think she likes a bit of dance music, doesn't she? Because I'm told Armin van Buuren. I'm not
Okay.
with his work, but I'm told that's what we could. He's a Dutch dance DJ.
Okay.
So I'm told.
Okay. For Sanne.
For Sanne.
Okay. Well, let's find out.
You know.
Sounds a bit dancey.
Mm-hmm.
We can have a rave up in the commentary box.
This is what it feels like. I think she's based the music
Yeah,
on.
that's what I thought it was,
Right.
yeah.
There you go. I am seriously down with my dance music.
You are. Down with the kids, Rupert. A lovely, really confident start from Sanne. That's the best half pass we've seen yet today. Really interesting lines she's taking as well to keep the judges' attention. Looking really confident. I think this could be pretty close to the 80s. Bang on with her music there on the short side. Massive smile on her face. She's loving every second of that. Gorgeous change through trot. She knows this is a good test. Beautifully in time to the music as well. That's Avicii, isn't it? Wake Me Up, I think. In the walk, maybe? I don't know. Or is it just a slower version of this? Really fits the beat of the music. Fab transitions. adding a degree of difficulty with the flying changes, and they were perfectly clean too. And I think coming down to her final centre line, massive grin on her face.
She just might have nailed that, the golden smile. She is overcome with emotion because she just looks as if she's had one of the rides of her life here in this freestyle competition. She's already experienced a double golden feeling, and I would be pretty surprised if that's not a third golden moment for Sanne Voets and her horse Demantur, and really captivating everybody with that. And the smile told it all. It really was just everything that was good about freestyle there.
Yeah, 100%. She was perfectly in time with her music. The music really suited the horse, and she did not throw away one single mark. That was just beautiful to watch, and that says it all, doesn't it?
Great moment. And it's been a great week for her. Could be a third gold, but actually let's bring you the score from Manon Claeys, and it hasn't really, we know it was one or two mistakes, and we can see now that she's finished on 72.590, so that means that she's gone into fourth, but clearly it looks as if we're going to see another silver for Rodolfo Riskalla until we get the score for Sanne. And Kate Shoemaker from America is on course for a bronze medal, with Susanne Sunesen and Manon Claeys missing out. But again, pretty close amongst the second to fifth spot, just no more than just over a point separating second to fifth. So that's very tight.
Incredibly
with
close.
The judges there. And there's Marco Orsini, the judge at E, doing his final calculations here. And what do you see? First score in the 80s this week?
I think it could well be.
Okay.
I think it could well be. I can't see really many times where they could have marked that down. It was so beautiful to watch. The harmony between the horse and the rider was just gorgeous. I think that could be very close, if not over 80%.
Well, always a strong supporting team from the Dutch infrastructure. They all say it feels like it's a spontaneous three-line whip. There's no order. They just do it. That's what they support one and all. And it's been the Para-Dressage who've been the stars of the show on their behalf this week, with plenty of medals coming their way. As they watch on, waiting for the score. It takes a little time, so the tension is building, but yeah. I think Rodolfo may be missing out on gold, but clearly he's announced himself very firmly on the Para-Dressage scene now with his two performances here this week. But it would be really good for the Americans to get a medal here on the final day, and Kate Shoemaker just may get there. She had a great smile when she finished. She knew she produced a really good test. Now here come the scores, I think, are coming through, and it's not in the 80s, but it's tantalizingly close. But it's 79.525, and it's a third gold medal for Sanne Voets. Wonderful to see. B's given 85% for artistic, and that shows you a couple for the artistic right up there. And but a very consistent scoring as far as the technical is concerned. So the first of the four gold medalists has been, 5 gold medalists has been decided, and it's a fourth gold medal of the week for the team from the Netherlands to go with their 2 individual team, and now the first of the freestyle. And then up next,
the 5th gold medal. Rixt won the gold medal too.
Yep, 5 gold medals. Yes, a total of 5. I was getting there.
Sorry.
I was getting there, Natasha. That's the 5th gold medal, but for Sanne, it's a 3rd. We're going to take a short break, and of course, it's the Grade 5 next, and Great Britain have the hot favourite here in Sophie Wells, who's looking for her 2nd gold of the week, as well as having won a silver medal. She's been the star performer in terms of the scores so far with her horse Fatal Attraction, and as a result is the hot favourite, but we will be back in time for that to begin just before 11 o'clock.
Here at Roisín, we have a long history of craftsmanship. It's not wrong. It begins with above all things. A belief that helps us build lasting things. Finding we cut products with reserves, vision,
Don't have time to take a job right now, like this from a different community in another part of our office. This is a service to teach on my new freshman just that. You can serve the second job with all freshman and you get whatever you want. 5 different charters and your house. Anytime you want. Why, it's a service just follow. Your business is starting here with a charter. For more information, please see treasure.com.
Introducing spectators and an immersive experience, bringing the audience into the heart of the image. Spectators online and one-on-one can score the live score, challenge each other, collect points, and win the cards. Built on industry SAE technology. Since we choose today's competition timetable, select your judge and you're ready to go. You can get any insight into this judgment created by marketing, stories, and identities. If you're viewing live from anywhere in the world, fantastic prizes in one like gathering remote services. You can collect points by scoring in different modes, being active and active, interacting and the best SAT judges will win amazing prizes. Within the community, you compare your scores to official judges and the audience average. Thanks to SAT and Hosmar, you can enjoy spectator judging across the globe. So download spectator judging and join in.
Keep your facility really good with 10 nutritional supplements. Lead muscle care products, stacks, book care, poultice, topical blades, and grooming products. Visit tenderwoods.com today.
And welcome back to our second of our classifications now in the Para-Dressage Freestyle competition. This is the Grade 5, 7 riders going forward to try and win the second gold of the day. The Netherlands opening up with victory in the Grade 4, and here are our 7. The key combinations to look out here for Sophie Wells with Fatal Attraction, obviously trying to back up her individual gold. Frank Hosmar from the Netherlands and Roisín Meusel look to be the 3 vying for gold medal. We'll be starting shortly with the rider from Saudi Arabia, Ahmed Shabatli. And then we have from Japan, Tomoko Nakamura. Natasha Baker alongside me. First up, though, Sanne Voets, just short of 80%, but a very pleasing opening and a wonderful opening. And, you know, looking aside, if I was using the old Spectator app, I'd probably put her into the 80%, but what do I know?
Yeah, to be honest, I agree with you. I think I would have put her into the 80% as well. So good judging there, Rupert. Well done. It was a beautiful, fluent test, and she will be so, so proud.
Well, the judges for this Grade 5 include Marco Orsini, who will be at H, and Suzanne Cunningham is at E, and Prain at C, Hanneke Gerritsen at M, and Kristi Vaisocki at B. So, the first of the 7. He is the partner of Manon Claeys, who didn't quite have the day she was hoping for. It's been a frustrating week for Manon, missing out on bronze, and just didn't find the sparkle to match her wonderful outfit. It just didn't quite happen from the test, but still, it was very close amongst the minors. But America coming away with a bronze medal. But Ahmed Shabatli riding Cassandra, 11-year-old mare, which he owns as well, coming in and scored 63.095. Without probably of the grades, this is, I'm not saying the least competitive, but probably hasn't had not quite the strength. Well, probably if it's not got quite the strength and depth, it isn't as least competitive. You know, he hasn't quite, whereas your grade, serious, the Grade 3, yeah. Grade 4 as well, but she says dejectedly. But here's a chance, though, for Cassandra and Ahmed Shabatli to impress here in the freestyle, starting now. Very soothing, relaxing music to begin the test with his horse, Cassandra.
It's getting a bit more upbeat now. Do you know what? I'm so proud of Ahmed, because a few years ago he had to retire a few times and didn't make it through his test, or has just scraped the 60%, and now he's here at World Championships and achieved a 63 the other day. I'm so proud of everything that he's achieved, and he works so hard, so I'm so pleased that he managed to get through to the freestyle. Good half pass, just losing the quarters a tiny bit. It started off really well and then just lost the quarters a little bit towards the end. Really going for it in that medium canter. Drop the pole a tiny bit in the downward, but a lovely upward transition.
I like his music.
Yeah? It's cool, isn't it? It suits.
It's important to have music that's so true to you as an individual.
Yeah.
Don't think you have to do something, this is for the judges. It's got to reflect what you're about, because
Yeah.
that helps you when you're giving your performance. You'll enjoy it more.
Exactly. You've got to love your music because you have to listen to it so much, and you don't want to be listening to music that you hate. But no, it's so important. I think if you love your music, you ride so much better. It's a shame he had a little jog there, just affecting the overall harmony. Just a few mixed signals, unfortunately, but he's got there. Really nice frame in the circle. Good balance. Just a loss of connection a little bit at one point in the shoulder in. Really nice steps in the medium trot. Ooh. A little bit early into the transition.
So, Ahmed Shabati opening up the Grade 5 competition, the rider from Saudi Arabia. Well, obviously not going to be amongst the medalists, but still enjoying the experience of competing in the freestyle. He scored 63.095 in that individual competition. And obviously we'll be hoping to get a score somewhere in that mark this morning, as we have 6 more combinations to come forward. Should just mention, have we mentioned that your teammate Erin Orford has got, Lauren Bartwick has pulled out, and Erin can try and end the week on a bit of a high later on.
Yeah, it's really, really sad for Lauren, but I'm so pleased that Erin can go back in the arena and really ride the test of her life and have a great time out there to finish the week.
Not too good. Says Natasha.
No, but it's great for Erin to have the opportunity
because
to come back in. It'll help her build her confidence.
Absolutely.
And the horses, and you know, she can show what she's made of. She had so much pressure on her shoulders yesterday, bless her, and I felt so sorry for her having to go last out of us lot. And yeah, she can just go in and really enjoy it today, which is so important.
Well,
but very sorry for Lauren, who can't compete.
Well, indeed, and coming in now, and all part of the experience. We're talking about Ahmed Shabati, and we're just referring to Erin about learning about competing. Okay, Erin was at the Europeans, but the Worlds is another level up, and that's all part of the experience. And obviously, if Erin can continue her progress, and obviously might be part of the Great Britain team at the Paralympics, because the team have qualified now with that silver medal. But Tomoko Nakamura has the chance to add further to his experience back. 68.738 they scored, and we're actually getting the score for Ahmed. It's 63.825. So actually that is a little bit of an improvement on his score from the other day, but obviously it's a different competition, different set of circumstances. But on paper, it's a better score.
Definitely. He was really looking to improve on his simple changes, and he definitely did that. So I think he'll be really, really happy. There was a couple of moments where he had a few miscommunications, but overall a really good test.
Well, now here goes the rider from Japan. Jazz is the horse, a 10-year-old gelding. And Tomoko Nakamura begins her test.
Come on, Rupert, you know this one.
Well, it was sung by Andy Williams, who we talked about earlier in the week. Can't remember the name of it now.
Yep.
It's too good to be true.
Can't take my eyes off of you.
No.
Just losing the quarters a little bit in that half pass. This is looking really strong today, though. Lovely rhythm in the trot. Lots of, what's the word, Rupert?
Cadence.
Yay! He got it. Just a slight loss of regularity there in the medium.
Look, she did score 74.80 when winning a freestyle at Vorigem earlier this year. And got in finishing third at Genmuiden, I assume that's in Holland, with scoring 73.458 when finishing third. So, as you can see, this is where we would expect to see her maybe in the mid-70s.
We love a bit of ABBA. I went to go and see Mamma Mia 2 the other day. Brilliant.
That was directed by my brother's brother-in-law.
You're kidding?
Nope.
That was my invite to the premiere then, huh?
Where was mine?
And a bit more ABBA too. I'm going to start singing in a minute. Lovely half pass. She's kept the activity throughout her test, and a couple of little joggy steps there actually at the beginning of that. That's a bit of a pity, but she's kept the fluency, the regularity really, really nicely. Lovely half pirouette. Really technically challenging test. The tempi changes, half pirouettes, and changes on a curved line as well. Better downward transition there, not showing any jogging. Lovely medium canter. So much elevation. And then a great transition back to prepare for the pirouette. Missed one of her changes then.
The 56-year-old Japanese rider, Tomoko Nakamura, completing her freestyle test. It looks like she really enjoyed that with the dancing performance to
The Dancing
ABBA,
Queen.
The Dancing Queen. And, well, what sort of performance, where would you be marking that if you were on sitting in the judges panel down there?
She didn't have too many mistakes. One of the simple changes wasn't as good as the other. And then she missed one of her changes in her loop. That's not technically a compulsory movement, but when you add things in that are technically more challenging, you open yourself up and you have to make sure that they're really strong. So unfortunately that will bring her harmony mark down a little bit from missing one of those, but well, it was too quick. So yeah, we'll see. I reckon around 75.
Well, let's just confirm the Ahmed Shabatli score. Mentioned it prior to the test, 63.825 across the technical and artistic. So now there is the score for Ahmed, and we'll wait on the score for Tomoko Nakamura. Now another French rider coming in, Estelle D. She only scored 64.738 with Magic de Moret, a horse that she owns. Will be coming into the arena. There she is, just making her way in. And did you practice yesterday to music or not? Did you do anything? Did you do anything yesterday? What were you doing apart from trying to win silver?
I was competing.
Of course, it was yesterday. I can't remember what day of the week it is.
I've just had a message from one of my really good friends saying, "Please don't sing."
All right. Well, we're
he obviously
not.
knows how bad it is.
Oh, is it bad?
It's terrible.
All right. Well,
Luckily, my riding is just a little bit better than my singing.
So how much, when you're dividing up your training routine, I actually got the score coming in of Tomoko Nakamura. I can tell you, 73.565. So looking at what she'd been scoring, that's round about what she'd been scoring in other freestyles this year. So she'll be pretty pleased with that. And that's a competitive total, isn't it?
Definitely. I think she'll be up there. I think that might put her into fourth place. We've got the three strongest ones to come.
But good effort, though, nonetheless, from Tomoko Nakamura with that score. They're still getting ready for her test. Just trying to say, how much time, when you're trying to do, you've got so much, well, we'll talk more about that, the sort of time division in training when doing freestyle. And here we go, though, with Estelle D. Dramatic, full-on start.
Where's this music from? Bond.
We've had Live and Let Die.
Yep.
Now this is clearly Bond, early Bond.
Losing a bit of regularity on the circles.
obviously a fan of 60s Bond. Sean Connery is her Bond of choice.
Maybe. I liked the recent one, Daniel Craig.
It's a generational thing.
Some nice walk steps. Nice and relaxed. Oh, here we go.
Mission Impossible. Do you remember the 60s version?
No. Just losing some activity in the canter, but a nice clear transition into walk for the simple change. Just losing some connection into that transition that time. Better positioning in the half pass that way. The transitions are getting better every time. I think she's giving the horse lots of confidence in the arena. But unsteady in the halt.
Well, Estelle D completing her test, the third of the Grade 5 riders, with Magic des Morettes from France. And, well, at times it looked a little bit of a struggle, but complete it she has. And the French, well, I suppose from a team perspective, it didn't quite go as well, but Roisín Letarte was excellent earlier today. He really enjoyed his freestyle. And coming out of the arena, Estelle and the third riders. Now just let's confirm Tomoko Nakamura's score, which was excellent. And we're really pleased for the 56-year-old. She scored 73.565, 74.68 on the artistic front, and 72.450 for the technical element of her freestyle test. And that has put her provisionally in the lead. But as Natasha was saying, probably with the next 3 or 4 combinations to come, it's going to be maybe a struggle to hold on to. But you never know, and it would be wonderful if one of the Japanese riders would come away with a medal, just to spread, well, it's not to spread the confirmation that the sport is getting more and more competitive, and more countries are able to get involved in the shake-up. So we will see. But just let's look at the confirmation of where she sits on that leaderboard, 73.565. But imagine it might be a short-lived lead, because next into the arena, I think she's produced so far the best 2 tests across all classifications. And I refer to Sophie Wells, who's coming into the arena now. And she's got 1 gold medal for winning the Grade 5 on Tuesday. 1 silver medal, where she scored over 77% in the team competition. And now she's on board George, aka Fatal Attraction, or the proper name, Fatal Attraction. And having spoken to her last night, Tom Hunt is the man who's produced the music. He basically is the go-to composer for British lady event riders, dressage riders, isn't he? Event riders, lady dressage riders.
And male dressage riders too.
Well, Charlotte Dujardin and you.
He's done Carl's too.
Oh, he's done, well, yeah, I suppose he would do Carl's, yes, because he's part of the same team. But
yeah, no, he kind of set the world alight when he did Charlotte's Music in London, and so yeah, you're right. He is the go-to person in the UK for music, and this is an original composition. So I haven't actually heard it. She wrote it in Hartbury earlier this year, so I'm really, really looking forward to seeing this test. She's upped the degree of difficulty, and yeah, I think we should just sit back and enjoy this. It's
Do you
gonna be
think
great.
you think this will be in the 80s?
There's every possibility. If George and Sophie are on form, there is every possibility that this could go into the 80s.
Well, she's getting ready to begin her test. And at Hartbury earlier this year, they scored 78.785.
So they're going to want to get a little bit better. Beautiful medium trot across the diagonal. This is going, little spook at the end, I think. He was spooking the other day at the scoreboard down the end. I think he just caught his eye again. Just a couple of moments of tension, but on the whole, this is looking really beautiful. Well, she went for that, didn't she? She's not throwing away any marks. Swinging the quarters a little bit in a zigzag. Oh, and a trip. Come on, keep it together, George. Good. Hopefully she can get that better. Again, the quarter's leading a tiny bit just after the flying change, but she regains control. She's a tiny bit ahead of her music. Come on. A little pat there for the 3-time changes. I think there was a 4 at the beginning, but
Sophie Wells then completing her test on a fatal attraction. Just got the reaction feeling from you, Natasha, that that wasn't necessarily George at his best, but what's your overall feeling?
Yeah,
just one or two little niggling, sort of frustrating mistakes.
yeah, there was just a couple of moments of tension where it just got the better of him, and you could just see that a little bit in the changeover, in the canter half passes, where she just lost a bit of control of his quarters, and then going into the pirouettes as well. But on the whole, it was a really lovely test. It was just those few moments that affected the harmony between the horse and rider, which is one of the collective marks for the artistic. So let's see what the judges think. But technically, it was so challenging, by far the most challenging floor plan that we've seen today. So we will see.
Okay, well, we'll see what she scores, but let's confirm what Estelle D scored, and she has scored from France in this grade 5, 65.60, 68.2 for artistic, 63 exactly on the technical front. There was a 59 in there from the judge at H, but now we will wait with interest to see what happens to Sophie Wells. Maybe not into the 80s.
I'm not sure it will be.
Okay, there you go. So, but we expect it clearly to beat Tomoko Nakamura, but will it be next up into the arena from Belgium, Ciska Vermeulen? Probably not expected to get a gold. You never know, might be able to sneak into a medal position. She's riding a 16-year-old chestnut that she owns, and it's Romeo. And about to begin her test, the fifth rider coming in, but really interesting the way it is set up. And will Sophie Wells produce a score? It's a long week for horse and rider, and in this heat too, so maybe fatal attraction just feeling a bit of the exertions, but we shall see the score in a moment. But now let's enjoy the latest rider to begin her test from Belgium, Ciska Vermeulen.
This is looking to be, I think, one of Ciska's better tests this week. I think the horse is looking really good today. Could just stretch down and out a little bit more in the rein for the higher marks in the free walk.
At Rorigam earlier the year in a competitive freestyle, she scored 71.675. And in Doha earlier this year, 72.042. So kind of mark that could put her into into the mid-70s, possibly.
Yeah, I think she's looking on track to gain another 71, 72%. I think it might be quite close with Tomoko, maybe. Some pretty good simple changes. And some nice activity in the medium canter. Definitely some of the best lateral work that I've seen Ciska ride this week.
Well, lots of supporters in the crowd for the Belgian rider Ciska Vermeulen after she completes her test and looks very pleased with that effort. Really enjoyed doing that. And that's what it's all about, coming out thinking, right, horse has given it his best. I've enjoyed every last second of it, and clearly Ciska has done exactly that.
Yeah, and freestyle is all about the fun, isn't it? You know, it's where we get the
fun
chance.
and competitive.
Well, yeah, of course it's competitive. It's always competitive. But it's the more fun day out of the three, and it's the opportunity to show off the horses to your best. And, you know, it's so good to being able to make the floor plan yourself, because you can really highlight the horse's strengths. And she did a really good job of doing that today.
Well, we haven't given you Sophie Wells' score. We didn't think it was going to be into the 80s, but the judges do, because artistically were very impressed. 82.960, technically 78.550, to give her a final score of 80.755. H is, H.
88% in artistic.
Marco Orsini from Germany.
It's beautiful, beautiful music. It just wasn't the best that I've seen George go this week, and you want to perform at your best every single day. But she did a great test. It was beautiful. There was just a couple of moments where the harmony wasn't quite there, like it has been the last couple of days.
Well, terrific performance from Sophie Wells. And as I say, it's a long week, maybe with the humidity just, you know, Fatal Attraction clearly has given it his all in both his previous classes, and maybe just a long week it is for horse and rider. But nonetheless, it's the first score into the 80s this week here at the World Equestrian Games in Tryon, and with Sophie Wells trying to add to her gold medal tally, and also she of course has won a silver medal as well. But coming into the arena from Holland, it is Frank Hosmar. Well, earlier his compatriot became the first non-British rider to secure 3 gold medals at any of the major championships, the European, Worlds or Olympics. So a wonderful moment for Sanne Voets, but what can Frank Hosmar do with his Alphaville NOP? I think he likes a bit of 80s music, old Frank, so we might hear some good stuff from the 80s if that is your bag. So let's see how Frank, he must be amongst the contenders, but he's got to try and beat 80.755. Tomoko Nakamura currently occupying the silver medal.
Slave to the rhythm.
Oh, Grace Jones.
Slight change in the order where the other riders have chosen to ride the trot movements first, whereas Frank has gone in for the canter. Just mixes things up a bit nicer for the judges maybe. I mean, a very intricate canter floor plan as well.
I wonder if Mark Almond ever thought that his music would end up being used in the Para-Dressage freestyle.
Maybe it's what he set out to do in life.
But it's easy to see why you can pick this bit of music, because it's easy to watch with the beat and everything. It works perfectly.
Yeah. But you have to be extra sure that the paces definitely fit to the rhythm of the music.
And it does.
Sure does. Really super changes.
Frank Hosmar bringing his test to a conclusion with Alphaville NOP, the Dutch rider who last year in securing silver medals scored 76.955 with this horse. Well, he's going to have to produce something really special if he's going to overhaul Sophie Wells' total. Natasha, you're the expert. It was lovely, fit well with the music, really enjoyed it.
And it was mistake-free. You know, there was a couple of little points in Sophie's test where it didn't flow quite as much, but you know, this looked really, really strong. It's probably one of the better freestyle tests that I've seen Frank do, if not the best freestyle that I've seen Frank do. So yeah, he'll be excited, I think.
Well, let's bring you Ciska Vermeulen's score. She was so pleased with her score, with her performance. Will she have been pleased with the score? But that's sort of in keeping with what she normally produces in the freestyle, so I'm sure she'll feel very pleased with that 71.045 and 73.04 for the artistic and 69.05 for the technical. And that is the way it's order-wise, with just the one more rider to go. Sophie Wells on top with 80.755. Where will Frank Hosmar be, and where will Roisín Meusel, the bronze medalist from the individual? She is the final rider of our 7 to come into the arena to conclude the morning session here. And so it was, I suppose, when it came to the bronze medal in the individual, people were saying, well, if there was anyone that was, you know, coming off the radar, she was one of the combinations that did that, but she acquitted herself quite brilliantly. I think this is her first major championships, and she absolutely rode a wonderful test, scoring 71.452.
Definitely, she's had a great first championships, and the horse is super, and I think there's so much more here for the future, so that's really exciting for the German team. And obviously the German team did pick up the bronze medal yesterday, so
how close was that for the bronze?
I know,
0.15, which is
so close. Well, nothing
from a judge. And over across, when you think 3 riders, you know, the narrowest of margin is bad enough close enough between gold and silver, but the battle for bronze and that place to Tokyo was very hard fought, and Roisín Meusel went a long way to helping them secure that spot in Tokyo. But now she's about to begin her test here. Look At Me Now is the name of her horse, a 13-year-old gelding, which she owns. And off we go.
It's quite fitting, isn't it?
And I see what she's done there. She went out on a limb with that choice. You've got to have confidence if you're going to do something like that with the name of your horse and then playing Phil Collins coming in. But
she's got it.
She's got it, yeah.
Really lovely positioning down the centre line in shoulder in. A great start.
Earlier this year in a freestyle at Mannheim, they scored 70.167 in winning their class there.
She definitely means business today. This is one of my favourite songs, Ed Sheeran.
Lovely choice of music, and Roisín looks like she's enjoying herself at the moment.
Yeah, she's putting together a really nice test.
Well, Roisín Meusel concludes the Grade 5 competition. And it was a thoroughly enjoyable test, a good competition. And I'll tell you what, we're going to be bringing you Frank Hosmar's score in a moment, but the bronze medalist from the individual. And it'll be very interesting to see what she scores. And we will have the medal ceremony for the Grade 5 once they know the result here. It won't be the Grade 4 because there is Natasha, explain.
There's been an appeal. We don't know who's...
But hang on just for a second. 79.155 is the score for Frank Hosmar. 81.76 for Artistic. 76.550. And that is... well, very close.
Very
what,
close.
6.6 behind Sophie Wells. That is a brilliant performance from Frank. Probably might even be near a PB sort of area, wouldn't it? I would have thought.
Yeah, I would have thought it would be.
Well, this is the leaderboard with the, at the moment, Tomoko Nakamura in that bronze medal position. Sophie Wells and Frank Hosmar. Frank on course for another silver, where would you say Roisín's performance?
I think she could be in with another bronze medal today. Yeah, it looked a really, really smart test. It's a really lovely horse, and she put everything in there that was really technical, and she seemed to pull it all off. So it could be quite an exciting moment for her.
Well, we will have the medal ceremony for 5. We'll try and find out exactly what is going on with regard to the Grade 4. Maybe, I suppose, when you explain more exactly what could be going on as we wait this score.
Well, I don't really know what rider has appealed, so it's quite hard to say, but sometimes if there's a bit of a discrepancy in the score, or you're not quite happy, obviously the freestyle is timed, so maybe somebody's gone over the time that's been allowed, or maybe a rule has been broken somewhere. I don't really know, but appeals can be in so many different ways. It's really hard to tell.
Well, very intriguing indeed for the outcome of grade 4. We'll find out more, but the grade 5 we're now waiting on the judges. And you can see the sheets and everything being gathered in, and this is where you can all look at what the judges are saying and have said and what they've marked for. But now we're still waiting on this moment, and she's come in with 72.960. So that means the 56-year-old Japanese rider Tomoko Nakamura is the bronze medalist here. That is fabulous. Another country being represented with a medal here in the para-dressage. And for the 56-year-old, what a moment for her to make it onto the podium. Roisín Meusel just being edged out with 72.960. So a big battle for gold, with Sophie Wells may not have been quite at her best with Fatal Attraction, but still the first score into the 80s, 80.755. Frank Hosmar, brilliant, and with his silver of 79.155. But what a moment for the Japanese rider Tomoko Nakamura, 73.540. Well, we'll be back shortly for that medal ceremony for the grade 5. Sophie Wells winning her second gold of the week. Well, time now for the medal ceremony for the Grade 5 classification. Natasha Baker alongside me to enjoy another golden moment for Great Britain here at this week's Para-Dressage. And Sophie Wells is going to be the recipient of that gold medal as she comes forward. It's been a good week for good games for British across eventing, where they were double gold medalists, individual and team. The dressage team picked up team bronze in both individual and team. And here now, Sophie Wells will be coming to receive a bronze, a second gold medal of the week.
I wonder if she'll cry this time. We were all pulling her leg the other day because she's known in the team as the Ice Queen, and she's got a heart of stone sometimes, but she cried on the team test day, which we were over the moon about. So I'm really hoping that we get some tears today.
Well, if you look behind you.
I know.
To enjoy it another with you here, and he will be joining us this afternoon. So Lee Pearson is just going to watch this, and what a moment for Tomoko Nakamura to receive the bronze medal, because the 56-year-old was excellent with jazz in the competition. And we have to make the presentations. Mary Binks, the FEI Bureau member, Gaëtan Audier from the sponsors, Longines of the games, and the Adequan representative, Alan Mann. But coming forward onto the podium, Tomoko Nakamura. What a moment, and of course with the Paralympics in mind, this is a terrific performance. Now to receive another silver medal. He was part of the gold medal winning team that deprived Britain of that unbeaten run in the team competition, but Frank Hosmar with an excellent test, just missing out to the world champion again here in the World Equestrian Games. Sophie Wells moves forward onto the podium and adding to her collection, looking back at her horse George and the supporters in the crowd. Mary Binks is coming forward now of the FEI, presenting the bronze medal to the 56-year-old. Their eventing team had a terrific 4th place, so the sport in Japan, and what a moment, again, as a Paralympian, to see Japan winning here as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to see some new countries coming up and taking their first steps onto the podium, and like you said, with Tokyo in just 2 years away, she's going to be so excited and she's going to want to crawl up that podium a little bit more, I think.
Well, Sophie Wells looking at another gold medal being put round her neck, and I think she looks very pleased with her efforts. It's been a long week for all the competitors, and once again Fatal Attraction was up to the mark. Now they're receiving their congratulations from Alan Mann of the Director of Strategic Partnerships of Adequan and the Chief Operating Officer for the Organising Committee, Sharon Decker. And a bouquet of flowers being presented to the gold medalist by Alan Mann to Sophie Wells.
I really want to see some tears. Come on, Sophie.
Well, I don't know what she's going to be. She's got a lot of Longines watches to bring back now, and excess baggage I think she's going to be needing, because this is the 3rd one of the week. First one for Tomoko Nakamura. Frank Hosmar, he too has got 3 Longines watches this week. And so, as Gaëtan presents the Longines watch to Sophie Wells, well, there's going to be a lot of people asking for these Longines. You've had 2 so far.
Ladies and gentlemen.
But now time for the Union Jack to be raised over this Tryon Stadium. Time for the national anthem. And there is our gold medalist, Sophie Wells, as the national anthem is played. Well, that concludes the medal ceremony for the time being. We will be back, and Natasha will be joining me for the grade ones before you have to get ready to try and be the second British rider to win gold today. No pressure then.
Thank you, Rupert.
Yeah, well, Lee Pearson will also be joining us this afternoon for the grade 2s and 3s. But a great morning sport with Sanne Voets winning a third gold medal, and that third gold medal means that she's the first non-British rider to win 3 gold medals at a Olympic, Paralympic, World or European Championships. That's it for the time being. We'll be back at just before 1:30 for the start of the afternoon session with the grade 1s.